Ned Fulmer, once celebrated as one of the internet's most wholesome husbands and a founding member of the Try Guys, has returned to the headlines. And this time, it's not just about a scandal. It's about an official separation that has been years in the making. After 3 years of silence, speculation, and carefully avoided questions, Fulmer and his wife, Ariel, have finally confirmed that they are no longer together in the way the public once believed. The revelation, made on Ned's brand new podcast, has reignited one of YouTube's most dramatic controversies and left fans asking the same question all over again. What happens to the so-called perfect couple when reality breaks the illusion? For years, Ned Fulmer's identity within the Try Guys brand was defined as his role as a husband and father. He built his reputation on being the guy who couldn't stop talking about his wife. It was part of the group's humor, part of his personality, and eventually part of his brand. Fans came to expect his running jokes about being married, his devotion to Ariel, and his presentation as a family man in an industry often dominated by wild personalities and messy breakups. But that image shattered in 2022 when news broke that Ned had been unfaithful, engaging in a workplace affair with a producer from his own company. It wasn't just the act of infidelity that shocked fans, it was the hypocrisy. The man who built his career on being the wife guy had betrayed the very foundation of his public persona. The fallout was immediate and severe. The Try Guys launched an internal review and released a statement confirming that Ned would no longer be part of the group. His departure was swift, and his reputation collapsed overnight. Fans who once adored his constant jokes about Ariel now felt betrayed, not only on Ariel's behalf, but on their own, because they had been sold a story that turned out to be a facade. Ariel, for her part, remained quiet. She didn't release a statement, didn't give interviews, and didn't play into the media frenzy. For 3 years, she maintained her privacy while speculation about the state of their marriage continued to swirl. Now in 2025, the truth is finally out. On the debut episode of Ned's new podcast, Rock Bottom, Ned and Ariel sat down together to reveal that they have been separated since shortly after the scandal broke. The separation, though long in place privately, is only now being acknowledged publicly. According to Ariel, she had no interest in participating in gossip or speculation, but she decided it was time to speak directly, and surprisingly, it was her idea to come on the podcast and share their truth. Her reasoning was simple. She wanted control of her story, not endless whispers about her marriage. During the conversation, Ariel made one thing abundantly clear. She has not forgiven Ned for his infidelity. When asked directly whether she had found forgiveness for her husband's infidelity, she responded with a blunt, absolutely not. For her, the betrayal was not just the act of cheating, but the lying, the deception, and the way it publicly humiliated her and their family. Her candor struck a chord with listeners, many of whom applauded her honesty. In a world where celebrities and influencers often try to package their personal drama in polished PR statements, Ariel's raw refusal to sugarcoat her pain felt refreshingly real. Ned, for his part, admitted that their relationship has not been romantic for years. While they have continued to live their lives connected by their 2 children, they have not been a couple in the traditional sense since the affair. He expressed remorse for his actions and spoke about the personal and professional consequences that followed, but the focus of the podcast episode wasn't about excuses. It was about acknowledgement. For the first time, both Ned and Ariel put words to what fans had been speculating for years. Their marriage is no longer intact. The confirmation of their separation comes with another layer of intrigue. Around the same time as the podcast release, tabloids published photos of Ned in Los Angeles, spending time with a mystery woman who was not Ariel. The photos didn't show outright affection, but the sighting was enough to spark new rounds of gossip. Was Ned moving on? Had he already started a new relationship? The timing of the sighting with the podcast announcement only fanned the flames, giving the public more to dissect and debate. While Ariel and Ned confirmed they are separated, they also made it clear that they are committed to co-parenting. They have traveled together with their children, including a recent trip to Greece, and say they are focused on raising their kids in as healthy an environment as possible despite the collapse of their marriage. Ariel emphasized that her role as a mother comes first, and while she has no interest in reconciling romantically with Ned, she will continue to work with him as a co-parent. This delicate balance of cooperation and personal distance is one of the most striking aspects of their story. The public reaction to the separation has been mixed, but largely sympathetic to Ariel. Many fans admire her strength, praising her for staying true to her feelings instead of performing forgiveness for the sake of public approval. Some even view her participation in the podcast as a sign of reclaiming her narrative, no longer defined solely as the cheated-on wife, but as a woman who knows what she wants and refuses to accept less. For Ned, the reception has been more complicated. While some appreciate his willingness to confront his mistakes and start fresh, Others see the podcast as an attempt at a rebrand, a way to monetize his scandal and position himself as a victim of circumstances he created. That tension between redemption and opportunism will likely define how his career unfolds from here. Looking back, the scandal's impact on the Try Guys cannot be understated. The group not only lost a founding member, but also endured a wave of media scrutiny that tested their own reputations. The decision to cut ties with Ned was framed as a necessity for their own survival as a brand. For many fans, it also served as a turning point in understanding the risks of parasocial relationships. They realized how much of their affection for Ned was built on an image that wasn't fully real. The collapse of the wife guy persona became a cautionary tale in online culture. Never assume that what you see on screen is the full truth. Now, 3 years later, the Fulmer separation is a reminder that the consequences of public scandal extend far beyond the initial headlines. For Ariel, it has been years of quiet endurance, raising her children while navigating life in the shadow of betrayal. For Ned, it has been years of professional exile and personal reckoning. The release of Rock Bottom symbolizes both an end and a beginning. The end of their marriage as the public knew it, and the beginning of a new chapter where both are freer to define themselves outside of that story. Still, the timing of everything raises questions. Why now? Why go public after 3 years of silence? Some suggest it's part of Ned's plan to reintroduce himself into the public eye through his podcast. Others believe Ariel wanted to speak her truth on her own terms before tabloids and speculation took further control. Whatever the reason, the move has undoubtedly thrust them both back into the spotlight, reigniting conversations about trust, forgiveness, and accountability in relationships. Fans are left with their range of emotions: sadness for what once seemed like a strong partnership, admiration for Ariel's honesty, and curiosity about what comes next. Will Ariel eventually pursue her own projects now that she has stepped into the spotlight? Will Ned succeed in building a new platform? Or will the shadow of his scandal follow him forever? And what about their children, who will grow up with parents navigating a complicated but cooperative co-parenting arrangement under the public's watchful eye? In the end, Ned Fulmer's story is not just about a cheating scandal. It's about the unraveling of a public image, the resilience of a woman wronged, and the messy realities of love, betrayal, and moving forward. It's about how private heartbreak becomes public spectacle in the age of social media, and how people rebuild or fail to rebuild when the internet turns against them. The separation may not come as a shock to those who followed the saga closely, but hearing it confirmed by both Ned and Ariel makes it real in a way speculation never could. Their marriage may be over, but their story continues to unfold, and the world is watching. Whether you see Ned as a man trying to grow from his mistakes, or as someone capitalizing on his own scandal, there's no denying that this chapter will shape how both he and Ariel are remembered in the years to come. For now, one thing is certain: the Fulmer story is far from finished. Like and subscribe to Inside Hollywood for more updates on this developing story and all the latest in celebrity news.